So I've made you guys organizers again. Okay. So I've created resource group 1. Okay. So this resource group is then going to have, what resource group is going to control is the queues on which the resource is going to work. Okay. So for our resource group that we just created for our warehouse, resource group 1, okay, I'm going to say that this user is only going to work on inbound queue. Okay. So whenever okay, this is ACT inbound, I'll say inbound queue. Okay. So whenever we create any, I showed you a warehouse order. It has a warehouse order has a queue, and you select that warehouse order or group of tasks. Warehouse order is nothing but group of tasks. You take them for a selection, okay, based on the queues as well. Yeah. So a person in inbound area will log on to the inbound queue. Then all the tasks of that inbound queue will be shown to him. In business sense, this is required because there are different kind of tasks, and there are multiple areas: inbound area, outbound area. So okay, Shreyas is facing some issue with the voice. Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
I think looks like Shreyas is having some local problem. No problem. We can share recording with him. So, um, different people work in different areas, and in each of the areas also we have segregation. Like say inbound, you can have two kind of inbounds, or rather three kind of inbounds. One inbound from your local vendors, one inbound from your production line, one inbound from your for your consignment stock, one inbound from your subcontracting stock. So for different business scenarios you can have inbounds. Okay. So what we can do is we can assign a different queue for each of this inbound. So the user, let's say today morning I tell, okay Rohan, you will be working on inbound from production. So I'll log into the queue and it will only give me task of inbound from production. Okay. So queue determination we saw yesterday, and based on this queue assignment, you know, resources are picking up work in the warehouse. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just assign 3 basic ones, and also I made a point yesterday, very important point, that if the queues are not there to your warehouse order, you cannot execute them on RM. Okay. So just again I'll take you through to that configuration of queues, and probably we'll delete some unwanted queues which you can see in the drop down. Define queue, sorry, define queues, we don't need queue types. So it looks like when we have copied our warehouse, all the queues have been copied, unwanted queues, so we'll just delete them. See, this guy, what he's done is created a separate queue when the stock moves from T010 to T050 storage type, and so on. So for scrapping, for replenishment, each of the process, the stock wherever it is moved, you know, the relevant queues gets assigned. So person working in that area, if you can imagine a warehouse, there are different people working in different areas. Yeah. So they all every day they work in that area only. So it is very important they don't see anybody else's task. So what we do is we assign them to that relevant queue. Okay. Then, resource group, what it controls sequence of queues that are going to be assigned to him. Okay, so first the resource will be assigned to inbound. All the tasks of inbound are over, then he will be assigned to internal. Then once all the internal orders are over, then he will try to scan and confirm all the tasks which are for outbound. Okay, so here I'll maintain the resource group. Okay, so I have mentioned that in my screen, resource group resources for queue assignment purposes. Okay, now we'll see what is resource type. Okay. So here we have resource type. Resource type is a configuration. I'll first select resource type and then we'll try to see what a resource type basically controls. So for our warehouse, RGY1. Okay. So I've just created a resource type. So a resource type basically has two components. Okay. So there are some more indicators here. These indicators are basically will be used in some advanced or some more features of RF, like interleaving means if a user goes to a place, the now the queue assignment, you can see it is like inbound only, correct? So let's say if the user takes the stock from inbound and goes to the bin, okay, to place the stock. So next task is again from inbound, so he'll be again coming back to the inbound area and picking the next task, right? But he's coming empty-handed from the bin locations to the GR area, right? So that possibility, the chances to reduce this empty-handed returning of vendor of your resource. What interleaving does is it will assign to him a task based on his position. The next task will be assigned to him, so that he is kind of not coming empty-handed, and he's picking some stock while he's coming back. Okay. Then you can assign a resource type velocity, and velocity is if you are working with labor management, you want to see how much time the resource takes and all those things. Position management, you want to always track based on three-dimensional what that particular resource is doing. Then that position management will also come. Okay, now there are two things here: bin access type and HU type group. Okay, so bin access type, what it means is, okay, I'll show you a particular bin. So what it does is, if you maintain a bin access type here, so it tells what bins this user, which will have a resource type RT1, will have access to. So you can see bin access type here. Okay, so you can see bin access type here. Okay, so the bin access type which you maintain here only, and the bin access type you can maintain for the bins here. So if I maintain 81 here, and if I maintain 81 here, then this resource will only be able to access to bins which have 81 access type. Okay, so the task will be assigned to this resource will be only for those bins. Okay, why we need it in business sense? As I told you yesterday, you need to control which forklift can handle what kind of bins. Let's say, for example, in your racking, your stock is on the fourth level. It's at the fourth level. It's at some height. So only forklift which has the capacity to go to fourth level, and remove the stock with its arms, only that forklift should allow to access that bin, right? So if that task to pick the stock from the fourth level is given to a person, a user who is handling stock independently, speaking by hand, or basically a tow train, a handheld dolly. There are different material handling equipments. So those guys will not be able to do it because they don't have the option to go up, raise their arm, raise the equipment arm and pick the stock. So bin access type controls, that resource, it gets that relevant task only. Okay. But if you don't want this bin access type thing, okay, then you keep it blank here and you keep it blank here, that check will not be executed. Okay. So I'll keep it blank here. Okay. So the next is, now using bin access type we control what bins that particular resource is going to handle. Now using HU type we'll control what kind of pallets the resource is going to handle. Okay, so if you see the two handling units we created in the monitor, I mean two types of handling units that we created. Okay, stock and bin handling units. So you can see there are two handling units. One is with packaging material carton. So this handling unit is on a carton. This product M-01 or whatever, and we can just click here and see the stock. So this product is on a carton, okay, and 10 pieces, and this product, the same product, is on Euro pallet with 25 pieces. So we have two kinds of handling units. So you can see both of them have handling unit type. Okay. So from where does this handling unit get assigned to handling unit type? This handling unit type comes from the packaging material, what you maintain in your packaging material. Okay. So if you see in Euro pallet, the packaging material will have E1 as HU type. Okay. So from packaging material, a handling unit gets a handling unit type. Okay. So what a handling unit type is? A handling unit type is simply what like we are differentiating um, handling units, right, based on their name. So let's say carton medium is C1, carton small we can make it as C2, okay, carton large we can make it as C3. It's a Euro pallet, so we just have one Euro pallet, in our structure. Okay, so it all depends, HU type, basically what it is, it's nothing but your group. Basically it's, we can define your HU type, master data, or we can go into club. So here we can create HU types. Okay, so let's say for example, I mean, in our structure we have packaging material, carton, medium, large, Euro pallet as E1. So this we have made it as E1. Okay, then I think we'll have it here somewhere in our table. So here you can see this HU type which are there. So we'll try to overwrite it and we'll make it into a single digit. Yeah. Because this Y is for you, because you will be practicing. For me, I'll just keep it the 2 digit. Yeah. So this is again, we can make it as C2. Okay. So you can see these many kinds of HU types are there. Okay. So what I can say is, we have C1, we have E1, WM, W1, okay, we have M1, okay, and we have D1. So what I'm going to do is create for carton small, I'm going to create a different HU type. So let's say C2, okay. So here you can see, you can also create a handling unit type based on the dimension of the handling unit, okay. So you can say like Euro pallet, a pallet up to height 1 meter, you know, all Euro pallet up to height 1 meter, you can give them as E1. Up to 2 meters, we can give them as E2, okay. So for carton, I'll say C2 is for small, yeah. I can say C1 is for large and medium, okay. And what I'm going to do is for carton small, in the product master, I'm going to change it to C2. So instead of C1, I'm going to make it as C2. So, this is how we are going to control, like which resource is going to handle what kind of pallet. So for our warehouse, what I'm going to do is, generally what we have decided is, uh, you know, the products, the bigger, heavier products are Euro pallet, okay. So these are the finished products or heavy, bulky products, they are like only 8 on a pallet. These are kind of, not that heavy. These are most of them are inbound products. Okay, we get them in cartons or wire baskets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two HU type groups. So I'm going to create two groups. Okay. So what I'm going to do is WH80. You can see here that E1, C1, D1, E2 we are not using, M1, WM, W1 are all assigned to here HU type group. Okay. So our E1 and E2 are Euro pallets, so they are assigned to a Euro pallet group. Okay. M1 it's a means of transport, so we have not assigned it to any group. We use that in our yard management thing. So wire basket, okay. So wire basket is into a group of pallets and wire baskets, and the boxes are in group of H01. Okay. So let's see if all our packaging materials are covered here. So carton, okay. So C1 is there, E1 is there, the W1 is there, okay. D1 D1 is dummy is there. So dummy is, I mean dummy we are not using. We might use it for any particular scenario, but not for our products. So I'll assign C2 here, like C1. I'll assign C2 to a group of cartons. Okay. So this HU type group is also a config. Yeah, I don't remember the path, but we can search it out from here. So what we do is, we will create two resources. One who can handle boxes and one who can handle Euro pallets. Or probably you will create one who can handle both. Okay. So you can see here you can create your resource handling unit type. Oh, it's in the same transaction, but yeah. So, so we created three groups. or we have used the existing three groups. Okay, so what we are going to do here is make an assignment in the resource type here. So I have to go back again to my resource config. So what was the resource we created? RT1 RTY1, so I'll delete the unwanted ones. All these have come from copying. Yeah, so we'll first create one resource, and later on, we'll try to make separate resources to check how they work. So one resource I'm going to assign it to Euro palette. Okay, I'm also going to assign it to cartons. I'm also going to assign it to wire basket. Okay, just initially this is a resource you can handle everything. Going forward, we'll create separate resources where, or we can create them now. Resource group, we'll quickly copy, and we'll say he can only handle for cartons. Okay, and we'll make it 2. Okay, then we'll create another resource group for Euro pallets. Okay, this guy can only handle Euro pallets. So what we are doing is, we are just creating Euro pallets, a separate resource, or a separate, you can imagine a separate um, capability of a use group resource. So this is nothing but capability, which what he can handle. So what I can do is I'll just remove from here the wire basket and the cartons from the Euro pallet one, and I'll just assign Euro carton and wire basket to it. Okay, so this resource, this resource will only use for inbound. Generally our outbound you know will be in Euro pallets, because our finished product is in Euro pallets. So I'll just keep Euro palette for this guy. Yeah. So like that, we have created 3 resources. At least we'll keep them ready. So I think I've done the wrong thing. Both places I've assigned 001. Here I need to assign the group of. So handling unit. So it's like, the palettes are grouped into HU type. Okay, and that HU type we assign it to a resource type, so that resource can handle that kind of palette. So for first, we are going to create a kind of a super user who can handle all kind of palettes. Okay, just initially to test RF. So I'm going to assign it to a resource type 1. Okay, probably we can change the description of resource type 1 to I think it can handle all. Yeah, so we can type already put it. Yeah. Okay, then okay, by doing this we are in a position. Okay, we will also have to maintain a presentation device. Other are optional fields, and you can maintain the presentation device, or you don't maintain it, keep it off. And what is presentation device? We still haven't gone on that. So now by doing this, I can go into RF now for R warehouse, and I have created FLD1, forklift 1, presentation device not defined. So okay, then I think it is also config. We'll do that config as well. So presentation device, here we can define. So presentation device, okay, since it's mandatory, we'll try to understand that as well. So PDO1, Okay, presentation device is, what kind of, I showed you the RF gun yesterday. So what kind of gun it is? It's a handle gun. Handle gun means the RF scanner that I showed you yesterday. MRT is like your, iPad. It is stuck on a forklift. Okay, it's like nothing but a, iPad with around 10 inches size. Okay, so it's fixed on your equipment like a forklift. It is generally fixed there. So user, same like RF screen, they can see a slightly bigger screen in 10 inches on that particular. Uh, it's like a small monitor on RF on the forklift. Okay, so the user who is working on forklift, he will do it while he's sitting on the forklift. He will press on that MRT and he will carry out the transactions like I'm going to do here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is there, we created task yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to select the task using queue. So the task we created, we assigned it to a queue of inbound, I guess. So let me see in monitor what queue they belong to, and then that using that queue, we'll try to assign it to an order. So this is my task, and the queue is, I think queue we can see in queue is inbound. So okay, let me manual selection by warehouse order. Let me see if it is allowing me by warehouse order. So what is my resource? Let me just have a look again. Is in FLT1 resource group 1. So what are the queues of resource group? Inbound RGR1. Inbound is there. So I have mentioned RGR1 there. So it should have taken that particular order. Let's try with an order. Okay, so I will take this order and select by warehouse order. It's not allowing. This is it because WH80 FLT1 the resource stimulated selection queue also it is not taking what's the matter on this task open. Yeah, it's open. It's okay to me. Manual selection by HU. The different ways of selecting a task. We can select it by HU, we can select it by warehouse order. So just checking, why it's not taking the 901. So amount suitable warehouse order not found. And delivery is this. Still it is not taking. I think we are missing something. Mm, handled. Queue is there, storage bin is there. Let me see the user, my user ID. This is default, if you want to give a default user ID for that, default resource for that user. Mm, it's open today, it's for our warehouse only, but inbound. Yeah, it is recognizing, so it is recognizing the delivery. So you can see handling it also it is recognizing, but so you can see this is the pallet, this is the stock type NEC1 GR zone, and here you can see good receipt is already posted, warehouse task is already created. I'm just trying to confirm from here. It is showing here. So here if I can scan, maybe the queue assignment we had done manually, so something might have gone wrong there. Anyways, we'll try to confirm it this way. We are going to use RF a lot, so we will try to sort it out. So you can see, I'm doing good receipt, and I did good receipt was done before. So now I'm confirming the task into this storage type, this bin. So, what is happening here, I think you can now imagine that I'm selecting a handling unit, the number is going down, and, I'm just going into the handling unit, and the user will go this here in the screen is going to do the GR on the RF gun, and then create a task on the RF itself and confirm the task. So during confirmation, what he is doing after GR, he is on the pallet, so he's picking the pallet, and confirmation means he will take the pallet to the bin where he wants to place it, so 8005 bin, so he'll place it there. And then I told you, they don't scan anything, they don't type anything on the handle scanner, they kind of scan it. Okay, so they scan the bin barcode, then they scan the handling unit barcode. So by doing this, what he's telling to the system, I have reached the bin, I've placed the stock, the handling unit is with me, and the handling unit is in the bin now. Okay, and he's completing the task confirmation. So after doing this, if you look at the warehouse order, you will see the warehouse order is in process. Okay, and this is the resource who is doing it, and I'm the processor. And you can see that I have now confirmed, you can see that I have now confirmed two of the tasks. Okay, for handling unit 9001 and 9002. Oh, sorry, 901 and 902. Okay, so same way, I can complete the receipt of all others, and that receipt is going to complete my delivery into the system. Okay. So you can see the delivery which we are working 11253. Yeah. So you can see it is partially completed. So put away is partially completed. Once I complete all the handling unit, put away and the warehouse status will be completed. That means all inbound process has been completed and all the handling units have been placed in the warehouse. Okay. So I'll quickly do that. Yeah. So I'll confirm the tasks for all other bins. Yeah. Same like I've done it for the first two. Here we go. Then the third one. just selecting the handling unit list. If the handling units are in front of me, I can directly scan the handling unit. I don't want to, it's not required to go by the list. So, in EWM, the SAP feature is, everything that you want to do, you can do it on the gun itself, RF gun itself, whether it be a GR or anything, yeah, or a put away or a picking or an internal movement, physical inventory, whatever process you can think of a warehouse, EWM, we can do it on the RF gun. So, for companies, they have their customers, for companies we have specific process for a particular company, right? So, you know, we have bespoke transaction, bespoke processes. So that also, you can, those bespoke process also you can, uh, do it on RF, but you have to do some development on the RF side. So here we go, I've just done the last handling unit. Then you can see my delivery now. Put away is warehouse is completed. Your warehouse order that we are looking into will now be fully completed. Yeah, it's in process. So you can see now it is in confirmed status. Okay, so warehouse order we saw unit has three status. One, it was in open status, then in process, then in confirmed. There is another fourth status, that is cancelled. So when you cancel it, so in system, a warehouse task, if you see, uh, warehouse order, or say that we just confirmed, you will track them by a number. Let's say C. C means confirmed. Okay, so we generally go in monitor and see what status confirmed, in process, D, open, blank. Okay, so there will be one more status which we'll be seeing in subsequent session is B, where it is in lock status, or it's in waiting status, we call it. Okay, so this is how, you RF, you confirm your task. We have just maintained the basic master data and we have confirmed the task. So RF, we can do it automatically or manual, where we can, give system what we want to do, or we have a system guided approach. System proposes something for us. So you can display, monitor, what stock a particular resource is handling. Okay. So I've told you, in EWM we have a single reporting transaction. So here we have a resource management node. We can track which is the resource who are working here in your warehouse, what they are doing. So if they are executing, so I can see my order number here somewhere, which storage type I'm working, which queue I'm working. So if I have left, and I'm blocking something, I can log off the resource. I'm a planner, so I can change the queue I want you to work from, A area to another area. From here you can trigger maintenance of a resource transaction, changing of group. Okay. And then on RF side, we have a lot of function keys as well, standard function keys. So if you're working on RF, if you are in the screen, if you want to go back, you press, sorry, you press F7, very common. Yeah? So if I press F7, I'm just pressing F7 here, it goes back screen. Yeah? So if you press F6, okay, let's say if I press F6, so whatever is there that is entered, that will be taken off, okay, cleared. Then you have, you also can drag here and press delete, but users on the gun, they don't have that luxury. They have small keys, yeah, so they go ahead with this function keys. So the same function keys are there on their guns as well. So F5 more, so anywhere you want to display a list of possible entries, you press F5. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not for that. F5 here is different. So let me show you the F5. Now I think we need to get a delivery to be able to work. So let us take the other delivery which we created. So I think we can take this one. Yeah. So what F5 does is generally what happens is, you have this function keys. See F1, F2. So sometimes the function keys are full and you have, let's say 6 function keys. So one screen can only show you 4 or 5. So what you do is press F5, you will see the next set of function keys. Okay. So you can have 8, 10, how many function keys you want. So here I have, configured that F1 do change quantity, F2 to change something else. Okay, so you can press this to do repacking. Okay, so you can do a lot of things using this function key. So I'm pressing, this is function key. Yeah, F2 they will press, or they'll press by their if this it's a touch screen they'll press it here, or if it's another touch screen, or they are better using the function key, they'll press F2 on their gun. Okay, so if this function keys are 4, let's say in some cases there are more than 4, so you can press F5, it gives you the next set of list. Then for all possible input values, you have to press list here. For list you have to press F8, it gives you a list of all the function values that you can enter. So let's say create task. Not find destination here. We have manually created task. So if I press this F1 list here, so I can also press F8 here. Okay. Then any message, let's say any message, they appear to be like this. Let's say I'm trying to see, this is an error message. Sometimes the message is too big, does not appear here. You can press F9, it gives you the message on the next screen, which is complete screen. Okay, these kind of shortcuts you can use. Okay, so if you use RF install, you will, let's say this delivery is not there. I don't know, it is half message. Press F9. You can see a full message with the message number here. Okay. Then what all scenarios we can configure a standard RF gives us? Taking, put away, loading. Standard gives us all these things. Deconsolidation, packing, doing physical inventory, doing yard activities, everything can be done on RF. Okay. Then slowly we'll go into the RF configuration. I'll just try to give you a feel of how things are configured. Mostly it is done by ABAP. So the guys who are from ABAP, I can give you the technical book for this so that you can study yourself. So in the RF screen, the menus, these are called as menu items. Okay, so if you go here, so these are menus, and this is your menu key. You just directly select this delivery, or you can enter what number it is. So it takes you to that particular screen. Yeah, like you press this or press the number which is here. Okay, so in any screen, you know, you get these options here, like so. Let me go back. So this is input field which is open. You can enter anything here. So you saw me scanning the bin, yeah. So it is input field was fixed. That means system proposed me the bin, system proposed me the handling unit. So those were the closed fields, and I have verified them by scanning them, right? So those were the verification field. So when I'm scanning them, when I'm scanning the bin, the cursor should be here. So as soon as I scan it, automatically cursor goes to the next one and tells you to, scan the HU in this case, but in our case it didn't ask us to scan the HU. It was told us directly to scan the, sorry, in our case it didn't ask us to scan the product, it told us directly to scan the HU. So in this screen you can see 3, but some cases we can also see more than 3. Okay. In our case, it was 2. So if there are, you're doing a confirmation of an order. So if there are more than one, handling unit, you can use this navigation put. So you confirm one task, you'll get this navigation button to go to the next task. Okay. So these are the function keys, as I told you. We have a very important field here, which is called a shortcut key. So once you scan anything, let's say I scan here the handling unit number. Okay. So after scanning, you can see automatically the cursor goes here, where you press enter and it takes you to the next screen. Okay. So now, the cursor that I'm pressing here has again, the shortcut key where I'm pressing the cursor has again a lot of advantage and other uses as well. So here you can also enter something called as exception code, which we'll see in our later sessions what exception code means. Exception code, just to give you a brief idea, it is nothing but a possibility which SAP has given, to overcome any, exception situation you know, they come across while executing a transaction on RM. So let's say, I want to change the quantity for this. Instead of 10, I want to receive 8. Sorry, instead of 25, I will receive physically only 20. So I want to change the quantity. So, I can use exception codes here. So I don't remember the exception code. We can use the exception code here, and we can change the quantity there. Okay. So what is the benefit of using exception code? That user, if they find any exception situation or something which is not as per the expectation. See, everything, it is not, um, uh, I mean, everything, it is not what the system proposes. In an actual business, we come across a lot of exceptions. System tells me to put it in a bin, but the bin where it is asking me to put it is blank as per the system. But physically, it is having stock there because somebody has not done his picking correctly. So I want to change the bin. I want to place it in some other bin. So you cannot call an operator saying that, hey, it is showing me a wrong bin. Please cancel the task, create in a correct bin. You need a functionality somewhere here to do the changes yourself. So that exception code you'll enter and say, hey, I want to change my bin. So there is exception code for bin change. You will enter the exception code. System will give you a pop-up. Okay, this is your existing bin. Where you want to keep it. Okay. So exception code also has a lot of configuration. I'm not going into exception code at the start. So in later sessions we'll cover the exception codes. Okay. So then I haven't I have skipped those topics where it was asking me personalization profile, presentation profile. So we'll understand those things using configuration settings for RF. Okay. So we are going to control, basically screen manager, presentation device, presentation profile. Using this, these are the main 3 configurations. Maybe we'll cover in next session. So what we are going to achieve using those 3 configurations: screen manager, how the screen size looks like, it will control those things. Okay, if it is my screen, I have these are the standard screen size, but let's say, imagine your RF device is something of a non-standard size, so you can change the size of the screen that is being displayed here. Okay, so you can split the screen, how we can split screen, how we can modify screen. Okay, so I mean, from a functional side, you'll be writing a lot of functional specs, okay, for your ABAPers to do changes for you. So how you can find those technical things. So how, this is a menu, okay, and then in that, this is called as menu items. Then we, these are menu. Then in unloading, you have sub menus. So how these menus are selected. So if you want to take out, unload these 4 options from the menu, how you can do that using config. Okay. So all this is possible using, this menu thing is possible using config. Okay. Then, so let's say, for example, there is some requirement, for example, I'm again going to inbound process. So let's say, for example, I'm getting this handling unit here. Okay, this is the standard SAP screen of RF, right? So here, let's say my user tells me I need a, some customer specific field here. That's very common, right? So how are you going to say to an ABAPer, that here I want this field or that field? So, SAP has given a wizard here to us. So you can press Control Shift F1. Okay. So it gives you us details of that, technical details of that RF. So this is the logical transaction in the background. This is the step. This is the program which it runs. This is the screen number. So this wizard, from here you can modify, split the screen. If you want some fields to appear in this screen, and you divide this screen into two. So when the user press enter, this screen, only, let's say, these fields will be shown. The last few fields will be shown in the next screen after pressing enter. You can start a screen painter. You want to put batch here, you want to put item number here, you want to bring GR zone here, you want to remove these things. Using screen painter you can do all those things. So this is, basically a wizard which SAP has given us. Okay, splitting, you want to modify anything in the screen, you want to make. So now you are scanning, we were scanning the bin and the HU, you want to change, you want to scan something else. So you can modify the screen. You want to, this length is only till here. Let's say your delivery number is too big, you want to make it very big. Your product number, you want to make it small. You don't want user to see the entire product description, you want to make it small or remove it. So everything you can do using that wizard. We need a development key for that. Okay. So these are some of the things that you can do. So next session, we'll understand, what a presentation profile is, how we can control the menus, where in RF we can see all the configurations and all the nodes, and how the screen size, where we can see the screen sizes, the function keys, and how you can guide your ABAPer to do these things, because mostly when you're working in EWM you have an ABAPer who may not have worked in EWM. So we will get some technical idea so that we can support ABAPers while they are working. Okay. So next week, one session we'll do this, and we'll complete some more topics on the monitoring. Okay. So what are the different monitoring transactions on RF? I mean, I had planned to complete this by today, but I think anyways we are just slightly behind schedule, one session behind schedule. So I'll try to complete this. The next session we meet. So next time we'll be meeting on Wednesday, right? We have vacation on, because of some of you have vacation for Diwali. We'll have holidays on 1st and 31st. So we'll meet again on the 2nd. Okay. So any questions for today?
Yeah, Ron, I have, but is it fine if I park through without in the email? Hello?
Okay, if no questions, we'll end the session. You have any questions, you can email me. So
Yeah, hi Ron.
sorry, I just muted. Yeah, tell me, Shreyas.
Yeah, yeah, Ron, I said I have some doubts regarding this. Is it fine if I park those in the email?
Okay, what for some time we'll discuss it out. Now 5-10 minutes. I also want to discuss with you.
Sure, sure, Ron. I'll stay on the meeting.
So I mean,
Yeah, Ron, Tamrel here.
yes, Abhinesh.
I have a doubt regarding the packing specification, and I have mailed you yesterday regarding that PO
Master
creation.
data.
Yeah,
Yeah,
POP
yeah.
operation.
POP option. Okay, yes. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, if you can also wait, we'll quickly have a look into it. Okay. All right. For others, if you have no questions, you can drop off. I'm just going to discuss with Shreyas on a system access and some issues which Shreyas and Tabriz are facing. Okay. So, okay. Thank you. Bye all. Have a nice weekend and wish you all a very happy Diwali. Next time. Okay. Shreyas, I'll make you the presenter so that you can share your screen.
Ron, as I mailed you,
Okay. So, okay. So, is it regarding this server access? Yeah. So you're not able to
yeah,
access this.
no, I got the access today. I mailed you the same.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the the new user ID which you sent yesterday night. I am able to log in.
You are able to log in into both ECC and EWM, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mailed you the same today morning. Also.
Today morning, I think you said getting a invalid meeting ID. Okay, that was wrong. But system access wise, I'm able to log in ECC and EWM. Oh, sorry, I just got confused with your previous message. So it's working for you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And regarding this new unit and packaging and group, all these things, do we have any architectural diagram? I mean, how these are connected with each other? I mean, because I'm getting a bit confused about all the structure, I mean, the settings which you are doing a bit fast for me. I'm not able to, grab it completely. So,
So
I mean, if you can get architectural diagram, how all these are connected with each other, I can go through it and then again, if I have doubt, I'll get in touch with you.
so which scenario you're asking? Packing specs, right?
Yeah, pack space, then inbound, those queues, you assign it to groups. I mean, all these, bit confusing for me. So
Okay.
that's
What
what
I'll
if I
do
have
is,
yeah.
see, what I've done is, I will, if you see, I have attached two Word documents here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here in this Word document, you can go through this. What is a bin access type and what is the resource type that we discussed? This may not be the same that what we have done is. So what is the definition of queues? How the queue determination criteria works, then the queue access works. So I have listed out all the steps. So if you, I mean, go through all these things, you will be getting a link of how this is done. Same way, if you go through pack specs, you know, pack spec thing, you will get, you know, what we have done in terms of packing specs, handling units. Then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share with all of you the EWM book, EWM 100 book, where it is given in much more detail. It's like it's very it's kind of a theoretical, a lot of theoretical things are explained here, where you can further, go deep and try to understand the things. Okay, so try that out. So go to a topic of pack specs or go to a topic of resources. Okay, read, they read some more things, some more, get some more insight. So I think, and try to do a practice for all the sessions that we have covered, for all the things that we have covered. And, try to read a lot. You have SAP help as well. So try doing it, read the background, and also, what you have the recording, you can rerun that and understand, what was the business need for those things. So once you set up these things, and just try to do things, try to execute, the things that are being going on, and then I think one or two times if you do it, first time I can understand it is very difficult, but if you try to do it, once or two times, three times, then possibly, you'll be comfortable with its new terminologies, bin type, HU type, you know, so I can understand, like that's why, we go only 1 hour because these are new terminologies, you know, and you need to, digest them, and you need to, practice a lot, I would say, you know. So practicing will give you an insight, what if we don't create this, what is happening, why we need this, and what role it has on the next part. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Rohit. I'll go through this and still, if I feel any doubt, I'll again get in touch with
Yeah. So you can email me. Yeah. So
you. Yeah, sure.
okay. So before I go ahead with the briefs, just an update. Um, yesterday I was trying on the RFC issue, which all of you are facing. Yeah. Prashant, Vijay, you had also reported. So, I've also discussed with Vishwanath. See, basically, what I observed that the system which you guys are using is not in good shape, and there are a lot of issues in the RFC and the distribution model, which I have, taken up with Vishwanath to sort out with the vendor. But, I understand from Vishwanath that your 1 month access is getting over on 6th. Yeah. So is it possible for you, because Shreyas has also taken access to the system which I'm using. I mean, that is well maintained, and we have a better team to support it. We have reported the issues which we are getting, but we haven't got any reply. So is it okay with you, Prashant, Greece, and Weber, to take the same system which I'm using and others are using?
We will discuss with Vishwanathan and then we'll get
Yeah, yeah,
this to
yeah.
you.
Yeah, so Vishwanath has raised that. So the RFC issue, I may not be in a position to sort it out until I get those things fixed from the vendor. So I'm just waiting for Vishwanath to come back. But what we have come up with, that this could be another option where, if we continue to get these kind of issues, you know we might not be in pace with how the course is going. The practice will be slow. Also, what the issue, just to tell you, frankly, there are, in the entire system, there are only 200 or 300 deliveries, and you can imagine this is very less for our sandbox, and I think that is not mostly used for EWM, that is used for, I think, GTS or some other purpose. So, I mean, I'm assuming that the same thing I told Vishwanath, that we might be able to get this thing sorted, but in future we might come up with some more issues, because this system has not has does not it's not an IDS system. An IDS system has a lot of SAP master data, SAP configuration, everything set up, but this system doesn't seems to be with the IDS setup. Okay, so let's see. You can also discuss with Vishwanath. Shreyas has that system now, so I think for you three guys, I'm worried about your speed, because maybe we have 4 days off. Just wanted to put it up, so that if we can make a new system for you guys also, so that you can practice, and or else we'll have to wait for the vendor, and we'll have to sort out one by one whatever issues we come across with the system connections. Okay. I mean, I have wasted around 4-5 hours yesterday and day before yesterday sorting those RSP things, but every time I try to read something, something else breaks off. So let's see how it goes. I mean, we also discuss with Vishwanath. Let's see how things go. Okay. So, Fabrice, shall I make you the presenter to show me the
Yeah,
screen? What it is looking
sure. Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this is my PO. View screens. Render. Everything is fine. When I'm, yeah, when I am going to enter that net price, it getting blank, and it's showing me that net price must be greater than 0.
Mm,
I don't know why it's getting blank.
okay. Have you maintained accounting view for your product?
Accounting. How I can check that? Slash
Mm,
mm02.
yeah. No, you haven't maintained purchasing and accounting views. Okay, purchasing, maintain, accounting, not maintain. Just enter MM01.
Okay.
Yeah, just press enter. Again press enter. Select the accounting view.
Accounting. One.
Yeah. Yeah, just maintain moving price of 10. No, it's not standard moving price.
Moving price 10.
Yeah. And enter valuation class as something in the drop down.
Trading.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anything else?
Save it. No, that's it. Save it. Okay, now try to create a purchase order. Still you are getting, yeah. Go.
Yeah.
You can see in the bottom there is a tab called analysis.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Hit that.
Then
Go back. Okay. Let me try it from my end. Looks like
same
certain.
same issue facing by Prashant as well.
Yeah, you will face it because I think some of the conditions are not correct here.
Rohan, actually, I'm facing like I'm getting error like account assignment is missing for that material.
I think that we can maintain account assignment. Account assignment during GR you are getting this?
No. During creating the PO.
PO.
Account assignment is missing. But it's same thing with you. You just check whether you have maintained the accounting view.
Yeah, actually I maintained accounting view.
We have maintained the accounting view.
Yeah.
So I would what material? What is your material type? For your product. What is the material type you have taken?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was a standard material.
No, in product material master material type when you created that.
Trading for my
Like it's trading goods for the breeze. What was for you?
Just let me check.
Yeah. Fabrice, I'll share my screen. Can you just tell me what details you are entering? Like, what is your material?
Material, just hold a second. Our material is TAB EWM 1
TMB
TAB underscore,
underscore.
yeah, EWM 1.
Okay. What is the purchase organization?
Yeah, it's EWPO
P
PO EWPO EW
EW
EWPO.
EWPO.
Yeah, 100,000. Fund
What
is
is the
tech
plan? Sorry, plan is
tech 2 TAB 2.
vendor.
Is TAB
Hmm?
test underscore test TAB underscore test.
Okay. See, now you are also getting the same thing. Account assignment country mandatory for.
But it's not showing me this error. Why?
Because I think you are not entering currency over here.
I have entered that currency too.
Yeah, Rohan, I'm getting
So,
same error. This one.
Okay, and now I understand. So I'll tell you what the issue slash o MO.
hello. Hello, Ron.
Tabriz,
Hmm.
I think Rohan is offline.
नहीं
मतलब
is there.
वहाँ पे दिखा तो रहा है रे ऑफलाइन। I don't know.
पता नहीं कुछ कॉमन से है।
हाँ
ये एरर मुझे नहीं आ रहा था पहले कॉन्वर्सेशन।
हाँ, क्या मुझे कल से यही आ रहा है, तुझे नहीं बताया क्या मैंने?
नहीं तूने बताया था बट मुझे ये एरर नहीं आ रहा था, मुझे वो इंटरफेस का रहा था।
पता नहीं यार, अकाउंटिंग व्यू तो मैंने भी मेंटेन किया है, दोनों।
ऑफिस नहीं जा रहा क्या तू आज?
जाऊंगा ना रे, अभी डेस्क वगैरह कुछ नहीं है, तो जाऊंगा आराम से काम।
अच्छा मजे हैं यहाँ तो।
तबरे,
क्या करना है उसका एक्सेस?
अबे उसका
हाँ
उसका मेल आया है, आई हैव बीन रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम मीटिंग एज अनदर मीटिंग इज प्लान्ड ऑन दिस गो टू मीटिंग एट 8:30। वो पीओ के बारे में चेक करेगा और बताएगा।
अरे मुझे डाउट भी था यार।
पता नहीं, छोड़ उसको,
चल ठीक है मैं भी
दूसरा मीटिंग होगा तो मैं भी। ठीक है, चल देखते हैं।
ठीक है मैं भी ठीक
बाय
है।
बाय बाय।
और वो रिकॉर्ड डाल देना रिकॉर्डिंग।
हाँ हाँ, चल बाय।